Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. So, what if I told you that you could literally harvest wind energy right from your own backyard? And, get this, you could do it without those massive, noisy, bird-endangering blades we always associate with wind power. Right? Today, we're diving into a brilliantly simple, low-tech, renewable energy project. We're going to build a DIY bladeless wind box, harnessing actual vortex energy right from your workbench. Let's get into it.
Here's the quick roadmap for today's build. We'll start with the bladeless wind revolution, then go over our materials and workshop tools. After that, we'll dive right into the build itself. Phase 1 is the oscillating mast, Phase 2 is the electromagnetic generator, and finally, Phase 3 will cover wiring and testing. All right, let's kick things off with Part 1, the bladeless wind revolution. So, when we think of wind power, what typically comes to mind? We almost always picture those traditional turbines, right? They're massive, they're incredibly noisy, and frankly, they pose a real danger to birds. But our DIY wind box, it takes a completely different approach. It's entirely silent, it's compact enough to just sit out in your yard, and it relies on vibration rather than spinning blades. It's honestly just an elegant, environmentally friendly alternative. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth does a box with 0 blades actually generate power? Well, it all comes down to vortex-induced vibrations. We are completely ditching the spinning motion. Instead, as wind flows through the open front and back of our rigid outer box, it starts swirling around an internal cylinder, and those swirling wind currents literally force that cylinder to rapidly shake back and forth. It's that simple wobbling motion that's the entire foundation of our energy generation. Moving right along to Part 2, materials and workshop tools.
Okay, let's run through our ingredient list. And you'll want to pay close attention because the specifics really matter here. You'll need a rigid outer box to channel the airflow, a lightweight plastic cylinder, something like thin PVC or taped PET sheets for the mast, and a flexible carbon fiber or spring steel rod for your pivot access. Now, for the power generation itself, you absolutely need strong neodymium magnets. You're looking for an N36 rating or higher, and heads up, handle those carefully because they will pinch you. You'll also need enameled copper magnet wire, strictly between 24 to 30 gauge. And finally, grab 2 bridge rectifiers and a capacitor to round out the electronics.
As for the actual assembly, the tools you need are incredibly basic. We're talking a hot glue gun, a standard power drill, and a soldering iron. Just, remember to practice basic safety with those hot tools. If you've got these sitting around your workshop, you are fully prepared to build this power generator. All right, time to get our hands dirty with Part 3, Phase 1, the oscillating mast. Okay, here's how we're going to assemble the mast. First, take your drill and make a hole in the absolute center of your wooden box base. Next, take that flexible rod, whether you chose carbon fiber or spring steel, and anchor it firmly into that center hole using some heavy-duty epoxy. Once that's totally set, you're going to slide your lightweight plastic cylinder directly over the rod. But here's the trick. You must secure it only at the very top. And that actually brings us to a vital instruction. The cylinder literally must remain free at the bottom so it can wobble smoothly. Why is this so crucial? Well, if you secure the bottom, the mast just becomes rigid. By leaving the bottom unattached, the wind can perfectly catch that lightweight plastic, causing the entire structure to wobble smoothly and rapidly on its flexible axis inside the box frame. Next up is Part 4, Phase 2. Electromagnetic generator. Now, this is where the real magic happens. We are effectively building a basic alternator right here on the workbench. Through electromagnetic induction, which simply put is just using moving magnets to push electrons through a wire, we can translate that rapid shaking motion directly into clean, usable electricity. It's actually pretty amazing. So here's exactly how we build it. Grab your hot glue gun and mount those strong N36 neodymium magnets to the moving base of your mast. Now listen up, it is absolutely critical that you alternate the magnetic poles as you go around. North, south, north, south. Next, look directly beneath those moving magnets to the fixed floor of your wooden box. Right there is where you're going to wind your 24 to 30 gauge copper magnet wire into tight, thick coils. I really want to emphasize this exact quote from the source material. Leave a tiny fraction of an inch of clearance. As the mast shakes back and forth over the floor, those alternating magnets need to pass directly over your tight copper coils without ever physically touching them. That tiny little gap prevents friction, which allows the moving magnetic field to properly induce an electrical current inside the copper coils.
So keep it close, but absolutely no touching.
Let's wrap up the build with part 5, phase 3, wiring and testing.
To manage all that raw power we're about to make, grab your soldering iron for the final wiring. You're going to start by soldering the ends of your copper coil wires straight to the AC inputs of your 2 bridge rectifiers. After that, just take the positive and negative outputs from those rectifiers and bridge them directly into your capacitor.
Now you might be asking, why do we even need those electronic stabilizers? Well, because the raw vibration of the mast shaking in the wind creates an erratic alternating current, or AC. It's basically wild electricity full of jumpy voltage spikes. By passing that current through the bridge rectifiers and the capacitor, we tame those spikes. We convert that erratic AC into stable direct current, or DC, which gives you the smooth, usable power you actually need to safely charge your devices or batteries. Okay, now for the absolute best part, the payoff. Take your completed, completely silent box outside on a windy day. You can hook up a simple multimeter to the stabilized output to literally watch the voltage readout jumping up as the mast wobbles. Or, even better, you can plug a small LED light directly into it. Thanks to your new homemade alternator, it's going to light up right before your eyes. And there you go. You've just successfully harvested vortex energy. This elegantly simple, low-tech, renewable energy project takes the complex science of vortex-induced vibrations and turns it into a totally functional workbench build. It's pretty wild to see in action. So I'll leave you with this final thought to spark your engineering imagination. What will you power with your completely silent, bladeless wind box? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Have fun building, and I'll catch you next time.